What is a YouTuber? A YouTuber is a fellow human being like yourself who experiences reality in a certain way and as a result forms particular opinions about it and shares it in front of a camera, and that's about it. That's what a YouTuber is. But of course, because people lack trust in themselves, because this is the plane of lack, this is the plane of need, and everybody's always in a state of need, and I need this and I need that, and I don't trust myself, and because you don't know who you are, you never spend time in solitude, you never listen to the inner voice, blah, 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 blah. Because of all of that, you see these individuals, assholes like myself, who uh, simply are like you with opinions, and then they just share their opinions on a platform like YouTube, and then suddenly they become your gurus. And like I read comments all the time, you know, like for example, Saeed, this YouTuber, insert name, whatever the name is, says this, and that. Should we follow that, or what do you think? It's like, what do you think? Why are you asking me? Why are you asking him? What do you think? Have you lost so much trust in yourself? Have you completely been sucked into the illusion of separation and the illusion of need and lack and inadequacy and low self-esteem and lack of knowing yourself that you have to listen to other people all the time and follow what they have to say? Have you lost faith in yourself? Have you but little faith in yourself? I'm gonna pull a Darth Vader on you here, my friend, and say, I find your lack of faith disturbing. I find your lack of faith disturbing. I mean, you listen to people, you listen to opinions, but at the end of the day, you've got to trust your own experience. Yes, there are certain individuals that we look up to. There are certain individuals that I look up to. When I listen to them, I listen with both ears wide open. Wide open. And often, the people that I listen with both ears wide open are people that are self-depreciating, that are like my favorite human teacher is Ram Dass. You know, not only is the stuff that he says wonderful, and just like he goes to a deep place, he goes to the plane of truth, what Plato described as the good, the source. He says, where is your source of knowledge? The source of knowledge, he says, if it's from the good, which is his description of consciousness, of the deep, the plane of truth, then it's the way it is, right? So, but he's also Ram Dass. If you listen to Ram Dass, he's very self-depreciating, very honest where he is. He doesn't claim to be anything special. He's very vulnerable about his shortcomings, and I often listen because look, you know, matter of fact is we've all got hang-ups and shortcomings and attachments and desires and expectations, and you know, we got him, we all got him, you know, we all got him. Okay, so you know, sure, there are people you listen, you know, you feel, you sense there is a deep truth in there. It's really resonating with a deeper part of you. But don't put anybody on a pedestal. Don't put anybody on a pedestal. Like, I'll tell you something about Ram Dass, for example. He's from a different time. He is my highest, most revered teacher. Okay, the most influential human teacher I have. But there are certain things that I disagree with, or I not necessarily disagree, but also I recognize that due to the time period that he was in, which was the 60s and the 70s, there is certain knowledge that they didn't have at the time. And so he wasn't able to get that knowledge. Like, for example, the breatharian knowledge. People back then in the 60s and 70s didn't have that knowledge. So Ram Dass never spoke of it, and in fact, unfortunately, he ended up having a stroke. He passed on recently, God bless his soul, probably due to foods that he was eating and certain things that he didn't have the knowledge of at the time. So just because he said some wise stuff didn't mean he knows it all. And he himself was very aware of that, which makes me more open to listen to him. You see? So it's like, listen to people. But at the end of the day, you've got to recognize that you're in a different time, you're having a different experience, and you've got to understand where your place is in the game. And you've got to understand that your experience is utterly and uniquely different from everyone else, and you're actually a different puzzle piece than the other puzzle pieces. It's all different puzzle pieces. So you listen to people. I'm not discounting that there's some truth out there. I'm not discounting that there's some wisdom out there. I'm not discounting there are certain people out there, certain YouTubers and whatever, social media gurus and assholes like myself who arrogantly put the camera on and say, guys, I'm gonna tell you the truth today. You know, I'm not discounting. You know, lots of good information out there, lots of truth, lots of wisdom, lots of good information there. But even as wise and as potent as it is, it may not actually be relevant to you. It may not even, it may be like, well, this is truth. Breatharianism is the truth. Right, but it's not for me. Why? Because your soul probably doesn't even want to be here living for 200, 300, 400 years. It probably be here for a little short while, and that's it. Like, I have a friend, one of you guys I talked to on Instagram, for example, and you told me, man, I understand this perfectly, the pranic living. I understand it like 100%. But I think for me, for my situation, I'm just gonna go the fruits route because I've got a lot of things to heal, and you've got a you've got a garden going on, and so great, because actually your gig here is to help people heal with the natural plants. That's your gig, and you're fully understanding that's a conscious being. You see? So just because even if it's truth, it just may not resonate with you. It may not be for you, not for your soul. It's not your gig. Not your gig. Not your gig. I'm 5'5", 5'6". Basketball is not my gig. It's not my gig. I can practice all day long. It's not my gig. I'm not gonna get into the NBA. Even if I came out of my mom's womb dribbling a basketball. Right? I know some players made it even shorter than that, but they weren't no Kobe Bryant or no LeBron James, right? Well, it may not be your gig. You gotta trust yourself, man. Right? And I tell you, there's a lot of garbage information out there too. Okay? There's a lot of misinformation, let's say. Let's not use the word garbage, it's too strong. Misinformation. There's a lot, what the Hindus tell us, Kali Yuga, the age of darkness, the age we're in right now, they say, what is it? What's the Kali Yuga? They say it's the age of deception. So there's also a lot of deceiving information out there, right? And you're lucky enough if you come across teachers who are channeling good information, who are channeling wisdom and truth, because there is such thing as truth. Plato said it's the good. He said it's the good. So where is your source of information? That's very important. That seems to be more relevant to me. Where are you getting this? What's the source? And sometimes it's enough to say it is what it is. That's my favorite answer. It is what it is. You either know it or you don't. To he who knows, no explanation is necessary. To he who doesn't, none is possible, right? It's the good. It's what Plato called the good. But even then, even when you do come across certain YouTubers, certain teachers that do channel some very potent stuff, potent material, wisdom, that wisdom simply may not be for you in the moment, or may not be for you for this lifetime. You may be better off with incorporating other wisdom into your life. It's just gigs, folks. We're all actors on a stage, and we're sort of given different gigs. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. But X, Y, Z said not to eat this, or X, Y, Z da. It's like, who gives a flying spaghetti fuck what X, Y, and Z thinks, or what X, Y, and Z's perception is? As truthful as it may be, as wise, I shared the breatharian knowledge here. It's the way it is. It's the truth. It's the highest truth within the illusion, the highest relative truth. You don't have to do it. It may not be your gig. Your soul probably, in all likelihood, if it's not resonating, it's not your gig, wants to dip here before 100. Doesn't want to be on this plane for 200-300 years. So then continue to do what resonates with you. Just because I'm sharing certain truths, they're truths, it is what it is. It is what it is, It doesn't mean it's gonna have to resonate. It doesn't mean, but Saeed, man, I really look up to Saeed, and he said this, and it makes sense, man. So from now on, I reject all foods. From now on, I'm going to put tape on my mouth. It's like, no, what if that's not your gig? What if your gig is the vegan gig? That's your gig. I'm going to be a vegan here to help the planet, to save the world, and I'm going to probably pass away at age 80 or 90 because I don't even want to be in this plane. I came here for a little thing, and I'm here to help the world with the veganism, and maybe that's your gig, right? So just because asshole here, Mr. Saeed, said has been ranting about the pranic living and physical immortality and human potential, you recognize that is the highest truth, but you also recognize that's not for me. So you don't have to go to somebody else and say, but man, Saeed said this and that, because you maybe look up to the Saeed asshole character, and maybe you just think, okay, I gotta do what Saeed says. Like, no, man, no, trust yourself, trust your experience. See yourself as another piece of the puzzle. You're a different piece of the puzzle, and play your role accordingly. Okay, play your role accordingly. You've got a guy like let's use Ram Dass here. God bless his soul. Probably my favorite teacher to ever really grace. I mean, I'm so fond of Ram Dass. Take a guy like Ram Dass, as wise as he was. I mean, you listen to some of the stuff. My God. I mean, my God. Oof. Oof. Right? It's just wisdom, deep wisdom. Still, with all that wisdom, he ended up having a stroke, which simply shows unawareness of certain food habits, or perhaps awareness but not application. But I understand, because he came from the 60s and the 70s. His time is different. Another thing, even if, he was aware of a lot of things. He went to India. He was aware. His teacher was only not his guru. His teacher was surviving on 1 cup of milk a day. That's it. So he was aware of all this esoteric knowledge and the human potential, but his soul didn't really want to be here all that long. He just left it recently, right? And so because his soul didn't want to be here all along, subconsciously on a soul level, said, yeah, he knew about this. He spoke here. What am I saying? He did speak about this in his podcasts, in his lectures. He did speak about his teacher surviving on one glass of milk. He spoke about yogis not needing food, not needing water, and surviving. He actually encountered many, many miraculous things, face-to-face person. He went to the Himalayas, right? But from his soul perspective, he, I guess, didn't share it all that much. He didn't apply it in his life, because his gig wasn't to come here and be here for like hundreds of years, and his gig was a different gig. So his soul says, I acknowledge this is the truth, but I'm gonna share what I'm here to share, and what resonates with my soul, my experience. I don't really want to be here. I think he made it. I think he was 80 something. He just passed it this year, like a month ago, right? He didn't want to be here that long, I guess. But if they've said something like the breatharian message resonates with you, because your gig is to be here to achieve the pranic state and spread it and apply it and stay here for 200-300 years, because your soul wants to have this earth experience now for a couple of hundred years, 200-300 years or something, however you live. And it's going to be very interesting, because you're going to start to see a lot of people now live to 150, 180, 200. It's going to be very interesting times we live in. So you see what I'm saying here? You see. So stop saying it. But man, this YouTuber says, what do you think? Who cares? Oh, but X, Y, and Z, man, I look up to this person, and I think what they're saying is truth. Yeah, okay, but so what? What's your truth? Ask yourself that question. What's your truth? Remember, there's always a truth. The truth is, the absolute truth is isness, right? It's not word. It's not even, has nothing to do with creation. Okay? Within creation, there's always the highest level of truth. So the highest relative truth. And then there's your truth. And your truth may resonate with the highest relative truth, or it may resonate with the lower truth. So I would honor my own truth, whether it resonates with the lower truth or the higher truth. I would simply resonate with it. I would just stick to it. I would resonate with it until maybe you resonate higher, and maybe you not. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe that's not your gig. Maybe that's not your gig. Okay? Trust yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Spend more time in solitude, spend more time in silence. Learn to listen to the inner voice, and you will be at peace and at contentment, and you will see the whole thing as play. You will see the whole thing as an illusion, the whole time-space illusion, the dreams, the dream world, and you'll have fun in it. You'll have fun. Any reality is an opinion. You make up your own reality. That's Timothy Leary, another one of the bad boys of the 60s, who also had some very interesting things to say. Very interesting things, and it took him into a different realm. And he's someone who honored his truth also. Okay, it took him into futurism and virtual reality and all kinds of things, right? He honored his truth. That's his truth, right? It took him into complete. Him and Ram Dass were buddies, drinking buddies and psychedelic buddies, and they were really like they got kicked out of Harvard, right? They were rascals, and they ended up both honoring their truth and going to different paths, right? And you must honor your truth as well. Be authentic to the Tao. Honor the Tao. You do the Tao a great disservice by diluting the Tao within you, the authenticity of the expression of the Tao within you, by constant searching and seeking for the external opinion and the external reality and the external truth. Okay, so just pay attention to to what's happening in you. And how do you do that? You've just got to spend time in silence, spend time in solitude. That's it, folks. That's it. Thank you to the Patreons for your support. If you've got a couple of bucks a month to spare, you like this community, you think it's pretty cool, you think this asshole's got some interesting things to say and share, and you resonate with the things that this thing here shares, this mind, body, spirit complex, then it would be not a bad idea to get out your credit card right now and perhaps donate $2 a month as a token of your appreciation to this community. So the link is in the description. And what else? One-time donations via PayPal also available in the description. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the Patreons who've been supporting continuously. You can add at Saeed Mobayed at Instagram. And until next time, may the force be with you.